What's up, comrades and bootlickers? This is Radd Kahn from Punks for Progress. You are watching Punks for Progress. We're going to wrap up the weekend a little bit. We got some footage from the attempted invasion by right-wingers at Revolution Books in Berkeley. Hilarity absolutely did ensue. Because that's just what we do. In a situation like that, especially when it's so one-sided, you'll see how one-sided it was in a minute. But, you know, I can't help it. I gotta lampoon them somehow. I gotta have a little fun. And I'm sure there are several others on Punks for Progress that agree with me. And other than that, we're gonna cover the Tankrimes Takeover show about a week ago. And we're going to cover Crash Fest 2019 at the Metro Opera House in Oakland. I saw some pretty amazing bands. Aaron got some videos on the first night. My phone was dead. I got some video the second night, though. You can check out my Periscope and my Twitter. Just go at Radd Kahn, all lowercase. And, yeah, you can see everything I live streamed on there. Anyway, let's get down to business. This was, like I said, an invasion of Revolution Books again by right-wing Trump supporters. I didn't really know exactly how it was. I wasn't too familiar with Amber Cummings. I just knew it was, you know, she had been involved in far-right organizations in Berkeley and had organized, I don't know, walks to Revolution Books claiming to start dialogue, but it's the people that follow her around that had done much more serious shit, like throw stuff at the windows and threaten to burn it down. It's all on video, by the way. This is not conspiracy theory. This is not fabrication of or twisting of facts or doctoring of videos or anything like that. There is video evidence of fascists threatening to burn down Revolution Books.
Several right-wing groups have protested in front of a Berkeley bookstore in the past, but over the weekend things escalated. ABC 7 News reporter Leanne Melendez has video of when some protesters threatened to burn this place down.
I support our president of this United States of America.
This past Saturday, right-wing activists targeted Revolution Books located on Durant Avenue near the UC Berkeley campus.
You are so ignorant. That is the
commie scum.
Give me a good reason.
You're commie scum. We're going to burn down your bookstore. You know that.
That was the first time a right-wing group threatened the volunteers who work at the store.
I take this threat seriously. I mean, these are the same types of people who have committed violent acts all over the country.
Reiko Redmond and others in the store had recorded the entire incident.
Okay, we have you on recorded that you say you're going to burn down our bookstore.
Oh my God!
The store has been under attack ever since last year's pro-Trump rally in Berkeley. They say protesters have showed up at the store 10 other times. The store sells an array of books. It also promotes those on the Revolutionary Communist Party.
We stand against white supremacy. We stand against this fascist Trump regime.
This is video given to ABC 7 News of one of the first protests outside the bookstore.
We're going to come and get all the communists. No, we're coming for all the communists.
Volunteers who work at the store say besides Berkeley police, they are relying on the community to protect this local institution, which has been in the neighborhood for 3 decades.
We have a text alert system, and we are encouraging people to also come in and volunteer to be in the bookstore.
Other independent bookstores in the Bay Area, like San Francisco's City Lights Books, have expressed their support for Revolution Books. In Berkeley, Leanne Melendez, ABC 7 News.
So that was obviously the narrative we started telling everyone, and then you'll see here just how many of us there were compared to a single-digit number of them. It's a pretty long video. I'm going to provide my commentary at the end of it. And yeah, Aaron, roll the clip.
On the border, washed up like so much meat, and bringing these fascist police that murder day in and day out. They want us to live in fear of their predator and third. Are we gonna live in fear? No! Are we gonna live in fear? No! Are we gonna let these fascists hold the streets? No! Are we gonna defend Revolution Park? Yes! If you believe in humanity, if you believe in that black youth have a right to live and exist and breathe the air of being trapped and murdered by these thugs, then you can join with us. If you believe that women have control of their bodies and not treated like some modern-day handmaid's tale, then you can join with us. If you believe that queer people and trans people have rights
for a bunch of people that hate socialism, you sure love being publicly owned.
If we're gonna let this be this way, and young future generations.
There's like five of you and like 100 of us, so that's why you need to talk. With no permit even.
The reason why the fascists are out here attacking
Marxism is free speech.
The new communism is a way out of this madness because they can't admit that their capitalism has destroyed the planet.
Yeah, dox me. I don't care. My boss knows I'm here.
Children, like so many dogs in the street. It's the best their system do. It's waging wars on the people of the world. It's the best their capitalist imperialist system can do. This is what they have for the people. And inside that bookstore, inside that bookstore with the new communism, with all of with the revolution book, in the future is a hope for
This is like capitalist tyranny.
Tyranny involves actually being in power.
Yeah.
Be tyrannical without wielding power. Communists do not have power.
Right? This is... We won't stand down! 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 We won't...
Check it out, Tom!
Shut up!
Check it out, Tom!
Everything
that these fascists stand for and that these police stand for is the opposite of what Revolution Book stands for. That's why they hate and fear this bookstore so much. They say America first. What do we say?
World
what do we say?
Humanity first.
Humanity first. They say America first. What do we say?
Humanity first.
They say America first. What do we say?
Humanity first.
They say America first. We say
humanity first.
They love police brutality, and we say we're fighting to put an end to police brutality. Am I right?
Yeah.
They love white supremacy, and we value all humanity, regardless of what nationality, what religion, what race they are. Am I right? They are misogynist, homophobic pigs. As a matter of fact, just yesterday they had a straight pride rally in Boston. We stand against any discrimination or hatred against people based on their sexual orientation or their gender. Am I right?
Yeah! Fuck yeah!
Yeah, girl!
Every one of you are criminals.
When Radd Kahn is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When Radd Kahn is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Are we gonna let these wannabe Nazi book burners burn down Revolution Books?
Fuck no!
Are we gonna let them attack Revolution Books?
Fuck no!
Are we gonna let them bang on the glass and assault people at Revolution Books?
No!
Look, these people are threatening Revolution Books over and over and over again. But you know what? We are out here today. We are turning their attack into something beautiful right now. We are turning this attack against them by coming out even stronger, right?
Stand right!
We just took Revolution Books out of the walls of that bookstore and into the streets, and we are letting the whole world know that there is a plan for revolution. We got leadership for revolution. democracy, without patriarchy, without these wars for empire, without these fucked up illegitimate borders and deportations of our immigrant brothers and sisters. A world where we actually take care of the environment. You guys want to see a world like that? Yeah! You guys want to see a world like that? Well, let's keep fighting against these fascists, but let's build up the strength to make a real revolution to get rid of this fucking system that these fascists are enforcing. That these police are enforcing.
Criminals!
Everyone repeat after me. The role of the police is not to serve and protect the people.
Serve and protect the people.
It is to serve and protect.
It's to serve and protect
The system that rules over the people. To enforce the relations of oppression and exploitation that this system has people trapped in and is determined to keep people in. The law and order these police are about, with all the brutality and murder, is the law and order that enforces all this madness. That's from Bob Lincoln from the Handbook for Revolution. It's called Basics. You can pick it up right here in this bookstore.
Hell yeah!
When red boots is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When red boots is under attack, what do we do?
Hey, look, they have their chickens for Colonel Sanders banner.
When red boots is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When red boots is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Check it out, Joe, and we are standing up again. We would stand up against these fascists no matter where they go. When they go to Portland, we're gonna stand up against them. When they go to Groundworks Book Collective in San Diego and attack that bookstore, we stand up against them. Everywhere we go, we gotta drive these fascists out of our streets, out of our college campuses, and most importantly, out of the White House.
Hell yeah!
See you later.
Fuck off! No, no, socialism looks like. Those fascists are getting publicly owned right now. Damn right.
Wait, where are you going? Don't give them justification. They're not worth it.
It's a little.
Yeah, you'll get your motherfuckers down. People you're supposed to protect got close to you. You might have to murder them. How do you fucking sleep at night?
Everybody on the sidewalk, come on the fucking left, get on the corner. If you believe in humanity, it's time to stand up. Look what happened here today. It threatens to attack Revolution Book, a bookstore that has been here for 30 years, standing on the side of the people. It's the heart, the intellectual and cultural and political heart of a movement for revolution. And the fascists and the white supremacists have time after time come and threaten to burn down this bookstore, to attack the people in the bookstore, to take us out. And we organize people to come out today to say, hell no, we're going to stand on the side of the people. We're going to stand and we're going to defend thought and thinking in this society. And these people come out and they're defended by all these armed thugs. What happened today is that people got organized and said, hell no. We got off the sidelines. We stood up and yes, people are scared, but we gotta be courageous and gotta believe in what's happening. Because there's fascists that is forming and encouraging and fomenting great war on the people. Day after day, they're electing over 40 people. Threaten to massacre black and brown and immigrant people. That is the world we're living on. And we call on all people of consciousness, stand with us right now. Get out the corner. If you believe that children shouldn't be locked in cages, get out the corners. If you believe that black youth.
And all right, just to summarize real quick, we'll start at the beginning. The guy at the beginning that you saw Aaron talking to, maybe about a minute or two into the protest video, that was just a photographer. He was cool. He wasn't like starting anything. He didn't have anything provocative really on the hat. He's a photographer. He goes to any protests in Berkeley and just takes pictures. Apparently he got some really good pictures of all of us, and takes pictures of everybody, probably all the cops in formation or whatever. And the brown hat that he was wearing, it looked like it was like in the MAGA font, but it said, "I don't know what America is." And yeah. And then I had also met the other comrade who was talking into the megaphone during that time, just right before. I won't say his name. Then after that, our comrade Rafa got the microphone. The megaphone. And me and him kind of go way back. The first time that I went to a demonstration with him, the tables were turned. It was at the March for Life or whatever, some fucking pro-abortion march along the Embarcadero. And there were like 20 of us and like 10,000 of them. While they were walking along the Embarcadero, it was me and Rafa and a few other comrades and other people we didn't really know, but some of them were these unapologetically gay kind of hipster dudes, and they were just right in front of all those people, just beating each other in the ass with whips. In hot pants. It was so funny. And then once in a while Rafa would have the megaphone and he would find like maybe like some teenagers or whatever that were obviously there, like because their parents or their church or whatever made them do it, or their school, like their Christian schools or whatever. And then he would just like, in a far more chill tone than when you saw him grabbing the megaphone, he would just be like, we know that you guys don't really care to be here, and you don't care about this stuff, and you probably don't even really care about church. You probably just think church is hella boring, and you're just here because your parents or your school or your church made you come. But we want everybody to be equal. Just like made it really simple, and then like it was cool because we were looking, and then like it looked like some of those people really got it. And that's the best thing about organizations like this. Once in a while there will be like one or two people who are gonna come out of it like, oh, I get it, maybe I need to start looking into this socialism thing or something like that. You know, everybody is somewhat misinformed when they first get into it. Whenever I'm at the skate park and I see somebody given like the younger, or the younger kids, or the people with a little bit less ability, like whenever the really good skaters start giving them shit, like other teenagers or whatever, like, hey, remember when you couldn't do that fucking trick? So it's that sort of idea. Like, everybody's got to start somewhere. But if we sold, at least, I hate to use the term like sold, but if we convinced 2 or 3 people there to start thinking about socialism or the left, cool. Our work is done. Maybe that will snowball somehow. I would love that. Anyway, so after that, then you saw Aaron yelling at Amber and all of them, like, hey, where are you guys going? The bookstore's that way. You didn't make it to the bookstore. Ha! And then that's when we started the chants, the na 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 na. And then when you saw me doing it, and then the camera kind of wobbling around, that was when Rafa handed me the megaphone. So I was filming and chanting and holding the megaphone at once. And then we started sort of walking in that direction. It was, yeah, I mean, it took a few seconds to synchronize, but yeah, I knew we'd be able to do it. Football chants have been running in my blood for longer than punk rock has. So yeah. And then around 12:58 in this video, just back up a second and look, you see Aaron look right at those cops. He looks them in the eye and goes, you know someone who falsified a report and someone else is sitting in prison for it right now. You can see their names in your head, you fucking criminals, fucking class traitor fuckbags. Again, it's what we do. If we think you're a class traitor fuckbag, we're going to call you a class traitor fuckbag. It's legal. Anyway. Yeah. And we know exactly what the role of the cops is in society. They do that. All of those cops probably do know somebody who has falsified a report, and then someone else has to sit in jail for it. Someone who didn't commit that crime. And yeah, with that in mind, thank God for this new Bernie Sanders crime bill. I mean, Sam Cedar talked about it. I actually texted it to my dad earlier. It's like, did you fucking see this shit? Again, I'm not trying to push for people like Bernie, whatever. I mean, he's the best option we have, but we can't let up if he does win, because we still have plenty of work to do, and even if he takes office, that's not even close to like anything like socialism being in place. So we have to be careful. We have to be vigilant either way. But this really actually impressed me, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm just going to read it to you real quick, and I'm also translating from Portuguese, like what I texted to my dad earlier. But here's just real quick about the plan. It bans cash bail, it bans solitary confinement, and civil asset torture. It abolishes the death penalty, legalizes marijuana, or calls for the legalization of marijuana. It creates safe injection sites for intravenous drug users so that they can take their drugs with medical assistance. This I thought was really cool. It requires the Attorney General. I'm assuming that's the Attorney General. I don't think states have individual Attorney Generals. I don't think they do. But it requires the Attorney General to investigate every case where someone dies in police custody. And the thing that Sam Cedar mentioned was that we don't even have a statistic for that. They don't keep track. The government, the CDC, none of these institutions that keep statistics and records and those things, none of them have any record of how many people in the United States have died under police custody. It's not that it's not public information, it's that it's not recorded by anyone except some journalists. So that might be sort of a pretty big part of the reason why the cops keep getting away with everything. Literally getting away with murder. Anyway, the rest of the bill, it creates a prisoner bill of rights. Like, what are your rights if you happen to be incarcerated, no matter what crime you committed. It creates a corps of first responders, a corps of unarmed first responders exclusively to deal with mental health crises. It raises funds for public defenders. It bans the 3 strikes law. It expands what they call sentencing alternatives, like alternatives to prison time. Right now the only alternative to the only sentencing alternative I can think of would be like community service or something like that. It prohibits mandatory minimums for sentencing, and it cuts the DEA budgets involved in the war on drugs. That's almost a total overhaul of the criminal justice system. I mean, again, that's the bare minimum. It's going to require constant it's some sort of force is going to have to keep constantly, weeding out the policies that are obviously racist for now, until we eventually find a way, hopefully get to a point where we wouldn't need any sort of criminal justice system anymore, because people would just not be committing crimes of that sort. Especially not crimes that are directly attributed to money and poor monetary conditions. And, and then, okay, so after that, when you heard somebody yelling out, "Take your finger off the trigger," one of our comrades, this pretty fiery, small female, was like right in the faces of the cops, like, "What the fuck are you gonna do, shoot me?" And then of course we were trying to calm her down. There was some other guy earlier that we didn't know that was sort of I don't know, maybe looked a little aggro. He like ran over there and tried to take one of their flags, and then we had to be like, "Dude, no." He eventually stopped, but we're not a bunch of unhinged fucks. When we see somebody that's out of control, we say something, even if it's someone on our side. Anyway, But he was fine. He wasn't unhinged in any way. He probably just got a little aggro, and he calmed down after we talked to him. And then one of us set her aside later and was like, dude, look, the cops don't care. You can they have laws or whatever, but that doesn't allow them to just shoot somebody who's yelling at them, but they don't care. That's why their finger was on the trigger. And then anyway, that other comrade from earlier whose name I didn't mention, well, mostly because I didn't catch it. But either way, I wish that my phone didn't. I wish that my memory didn't run out in the middle of his speech. That really sucked. That bummed me out. I wish I had gotten the rest of it. But yeah. Anyway, another thing I want to get to, in case anybody's asking, like, well, you guys are anarchists. Why? What are you, like, down with Bob Avakian now? Look, it's not that we particularly subscribe to any single person's ideology. I mean, I personally have great respect for Bob Avakian. I don't dislike him at all. I like a vast majority of the things he says, especially his commentary on racism within the legal justice system and the police. He's got a great deal of experience, like real, actual revolutionary experience. He marched right alongside the Black Panthers all through the 60s. And he's done real work, is what I'm saying. And he knows a lot about Marxism. He knows a lot about dialectical materialism. And even if you're not completely sold on every word of his ideology, I think he's a pretty good resource for revolutionary thought. Even though, I'm not a Maoist. But it's and also they go to every right-wing rally around here to counter-demonstrate every single time, and they don't give a fuck, just like us. That's why we'll always go to these things, and we won't put on masks. We don't care. Like you even heard me say in the video, hey, go ahead, fucking dox me. My boss knows I'm here. So it's just, we had to do it. And also they are, RevCom, the Revolution Communist Party are our comrades, and we got their backs. We will continue to work with each other, even though we're, I know that, I'm not a member of the Revolutionary Communist Party. I know Aaron's not. Rafa is. And either way, it shouldn't matter. I mean, there's enough infighting on the left as it is, and even if you honestly believe that left-wing unity is a fantasy, we can at least have left-wing solidarity, and we can learn from people like Bob Avakian and the rest of the Revolutionary Communist Party, because they take the dialectical materialistic approach. And that's what we need to start doing. We need to synthesize all of these ideas and weed out what's probably not going to work or what people don't want, and then make sure to keep what people want. I mean, it's a mass line movement. It's a people's movement, and it's people can say whatever they will about communism, communists and anarchists and having different philosophies and or whatever, but we still have fascists to deal with, and This was just recently. Black Red Guard was on non-compete with American Johnson, and he was talking about one of the things he said about even like within communism there's sectarianism, like between the Marxist-Leninists and the Marxist-Leninist Maoists and the Trotskyists or what. But you know, one of the things he said was like, if you got a bunch of Nazis running around and you refuse to work with somebody because they're a trot, then you're no better than the Nazis. And yeah, I agree with that. I mean, there are few things on this planet that are no better than the Nazis, but that kind of infighting is not good. It's counterproductive. It could be toxic to our movement. And it's kind of a lot of what contributed to the downfall of the Paris Commune. Anyway, no, I didn't mean to start getting all dark like that here, but it's we gotta find a way. I mean, we have to stop having these disagreements on what the dictatorship of the proletariat looks like, because anarchists and communists, by definition, both want to install a dictatorship of the proletariat of some sort. Now, what that looks like is where there's disagreements and there's occasional, somewhat understandable fears of tyrannical dictatorships or whatever, but it's that comes from a misunderstanding of the expression dictatorship of the proletariat, and also sort of a misunderstanding of materialism itself, because anything that's like a revolutionary socialist, whether it's a movement or a party or just an overall new form of government, it's going to involve a people's movement of some sort, a dictatorship of the proletariat. And so that's not a fundamental difference between anarchists and communists. And again, of course, imperialism was a huge factor in the downfall of the Paris Commune, but the Paris Commune was already kind of weakened by infighting when they came in. Anyway, so yeah, and also there's a video out there somewhere where Aaron and Amber had an interaction, and she said something like, well, I could do this all by myself, and then Aaron said, you are doing it all by yourself, because you put up a message saying no racists, no sexists, no homophobes, no transphobes while organizing a far-right rally as a pro-Trump trans woman. I mean, I hate to... but yeah, and he goes, and so that's who they are, and that's why they didn't show up, and that right there is why you're doing this all by yourself.
Do you denounce racism?
Of course I do.
Do you denounce Nazism?
Of course I do.
Okay, I told people you had previously said this to me. I told people you had previously
here with you because you denounced all the people that would have your back.
Well, no, it's
a bunch
because,
of racists
it's because you're violent. They don't want to be here.
No, I'm not violent. I just said
you're
words
violent.
to
You sent a lynch mob.
And you accused me of violence.
Okay, see, the communists are saying this. See, we're peacefully talking, and the communists come over to engage.
I'm not a communist. I'm an anarchist.
I could
you
tell
don't know
that.
shit, Amber.
Well, it doesn't matter. You stand
That's why
with the
there's nobody here with you, because you denounced racism.
Oh, that's
so
what
you
it
have
is.
no right-wing friends to hang out with.
Oh, yeah, whatever. It's okay. Whatever.
They're too busy talking about
are we allowed to talk
threatening the
here?
lives of trans people online to understand have your back right
yeah,
now.
your people want to threaten me online. So let's make that clear.
Really?
I can show you plenty of
You're
posts.
regularly inviting people to harass a public business.
Harass a public business, a business that comes out to my events every time and harasses me.
Right, that says, hey,
That
you people who
harasses
have
me.
a political belief, get out of my town. And they come out and go, no, we won't.
And put
That's
books,
not harassment.
And put books in
What you do is
and
harassment.
attack people.
What
And
you
attack
do is
people.
harassment.
You guys are punks that attack people.
I
That's
never
all you
attacked
are.
a single fucking person
Well, you're
in my
standing
life,
with people
Amber.
that do. But anyways,
you
I'm
guys
interviewing.
sit online
Okay, but I'm not
talking
gonna
about how you're gonna beat the shit out of Antifa.
Have I said that?
And you're all fucking riled up.
Have I ever said that? Have I said nonviolence?
Right. None of your comrades came because you said no transphobia,
Oh, see, yeah, that's what
no
it is.
racism, no xenophobia. So now you got no
Did you ever
comrades to
think that
stand with you.
I didn't promote the event very much. That's why there's not a lot of people here.
Nobody gave a shit.
But anyways, okay. You have any more questions?
This is your
These
No,
communist
no,
politics.
I just wanted to know if you denounced Nazism, racism.
Of course I do.
Right.
Yes,
That's why none of your
absolutely.
comrades are here.
So why are you here against me then? If I denounce all stuff, then
Because
why?
you came
then why
out
are
and
you
said
trying
no
to-
Marxism in the Bay, and I'm
That's
telling
right.
you, fuck that. Marxists get to be in the Bay.
No, Marxists don't get to go around and use
We're here.
violence. That's fine. And
We're here, and we're not
I'm
going
here.
anywhere.
And I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
And America.
But there's more of us than you, Amber. You're losing numbers.
You think there's more of you in America.
Your relevance is
You're
dwindling.
being exposed.
What are you going to do
People-
when you don't have these rallies anymore?
I can do it by myself. I don't need anybody.
You are doing it by
I can
yourself.
walk in by myself. I'm not afraid of you punks. You punks don't scare me.
You have nothing to be afraid of.
Oh, yeah. You
Other
guys
than my
don't-
word.
You attack. You attack every time. That's what you guys
Bullshit.
do.
Bullshit. You're the one walking up on me, Amber.
Oh, yeah. I've got this space. You're the one who came in and started protesting me. Came over to talk.
I gave you my words.
Interrupting an interview like the rude
Oh,
fuck
that
you are.
sucked. And
Like
that
the
sucked
fuck
that you don't like my free speech, huh?
Oh, well, I'm having an
Trips you
interview.
the fuck
But
out that I got free speech
oh,
too,
you're
huh?
so scary.
I'm not trying to be scary
you
at all.
You little communist sympathizer.
Not a
and Antifa.
yeah, I'm a massive communist sympathizer.
Yeah, okay, so that's the same as you're a
And that's
sympathizer.
the
You're with
Muppets,
them.
motherfucker. Get with it.
Oh, whoa, boy, that shows your maturity, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
About the
Because I
little
don't
two-
take you even an ounce seriously,
Well, yeah.
other than the threat that you create for
Well,
this
that's
community.
good, because I've
I've
exposed
celebrating the fact that you were here by yourself.
I
now.
love. There's people here.
Your
with me.
movement
I
died.
love it.
Your
All over
movement
the
died.
world, I've exposed your Antifa. All over the
All
world.
over the
I'm
world,
killing your
okay.
movement, and your
Right,
movement's gonna
as
die.
we grow and you're here by
your
yourself.
movement's falling. Oh yeah, they're falling.
Falling apart. Where's your comrades?
I don't have comrades. I have
I know
America.
you don't.
We're not. We're not.
Because you're pathetic. Oh shit! Nobody has your back. Weird.
Don't need anybody have on my back.
Nobody has your back because you're promoting fascists. You're actually against your own goddamn community.
I'm against
Do you
communism.
denounce fascism?
Of course I do.
Do you see a bunch of fascism and communism in America? Where is the communism?
Communism is total tyranny. They outlaw LGBT in every communist nation that's ever formed. Outlaws LGBT and it harms us.
How's
Fuck your
Trump doing on
communism.
LGBT for
How's he
you?
doing?
You like that?
Huh?
How's Trump doing on LGBT rights?
You're not good enough to serve in
am I in
Trump's
jail?
military, Amber.
Am I in jail?
You're not allowed to serve in
You
Trump's
can't serve in the
military.
military.
He fucked you, man. He fucked you, Amber.
Oh well, he said, man,
You're
he's
homie.
using the wrong pronouns.
Oh, whatever. I didn't mean
That's
that
okay when you do it, huh?
My apologies.
But if I said
My
that, you guys,
apologies. My honest
if somebody else
apologies.
said,
That
you
was
guys,
out of line. I
but
was
oh
wrong,
boy, I
and
got
I
a
am
bunch
sorry.
of people calling for communism, something that's the worst system mankind's ever seen. It's killed more
What does
people. than any
communism
system.
mean? What is it?
Total
Tell me
tyranny,
what communism
the
is,
merger of
Amber.
corporations and government,
That's
with a
fascism.
government
That's
control,
fascism.
with a government
Mussolini
control.
said that.
Simon
Mussolini
Hillis
said
Montana,
fascism
which
is the
one was
merger of corporate and government.
7
What
years
communism
more than a street corner.
is the end of capitalism.
just
So you
The
think
workers
there's,
see
so
some
you think
means
there's
of
a difference
production.
between,
You don't know what
you think there's a
communism is,
difference
Amber.
between- you think
You're
there's a
protesting
difference.
something
See,
you
nobody
don't
can
know the
talk.
first
That's
thing
what
about.
communists do. They won't let you talk. So you
I'm
think,
not a communist.
you think that
So that's what anarchists do.
So you
apparently.
think Hitler and Stalin
We're
you thi-
different. Yes.
Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, Stalin,
One was a-
Stalin killed more people. You're right. Stalin killed more people. Both for
completely
you
different
can't say
reasons.
you can't say
For
both.
completely
you
different
can't
political
say,
motivations.
You can't say
I
both.
can say.
You can't say
They're
both.
different.
You can't say
They were
both
both
are
tyrannical
scumbags.
assholes, and I'm
You
not a
can't-
Stalinist.
You
Fuck
can't
Stalin.
say
Fuck
both.
Stalin.
You can't say both are assholes.
I just did. I just said fuck Stalin.
Fuck communism.
Fuck Hitler. Stalin is not the example of communism. When did the workers seize the means of production under Stalin? When did that happen?
Well-
It didn't. You don't know what communism is.
Oh, I see them right here in the streets attacking people that want to
That
have their
doesn't
free
mean you
speech.
understand their beliefs, Amber. You don't.
They don't even say their beliefs.
You don't
'cause what
know
they do-
shit about
well,
shit,
I know
Amber.
shit. I know communism
No, you
is
don't.
an infection that we don't want here.
I got a question. Are you guys willing to sit at the table and try to understand each other?
He's not. He's gonna yell. That's all he's gonna do. He's
that's
the
what-
communist
Can we
tactic.
get a
The
dialogue
communist
going?
tactic, sir, is to sit there and
I'm not a communist.
over talk and over speak the person so they can't speak, to shut down their speech. That's part of the Marxist.
I thought we were having a dialogue.
No,
That's
I
what
thought you were
experienced.
yelling and
I
not letting me
listened
talk.
to you. I listened
You
to
came
you.
in and interrupted.
You're not
but,
listening to me.
But I do have media that do want to speak with me. If you want to speak with me, then we'll speak later. So, I'll definitely speak later. But I have media right now that do want to talk.
Look at Punks for Progress. My name's Reverend.
Sure. Look me up. Amber Grant Comics. I'm more than willing to talk. But I mean, I'm not going to sit there and just have yelling points all the time. Okay.
And I'm the media.
Yeah, you're the media. So.
We're here now. Amber's with me. We're ready to do a quick interview.
I hate to sound, anti-intersectional or whatever, but the truth is, does anybody think that a bunch of far-right Trump-supporting assholes are going to take a trans woman who's supposedly on their side seriously? They're some of the most homophobic and transphobic people on earth. They're the same people that brought us the transgender bathroom laws, for fuck's sake. And people who show up in droves like that to Trump rallies are racist and homophobic and transphobic and Islamophobic, xenophobic, anything like that. They're bigots. That's what they are. That's who they've always been. It's anyway, on to Crash Fest the night before, where I saw Resistance 77 and Fang and the Varukers and Agent Orange and Conflict. And as a matter of fact, Aaron talked to Sammy Town right before. There's another video out there where he says, tomorrow Proud Boys are going to storm Revolution Books in Berkeley. It's funny how, it wasn't actually Proud Boys over there, but it's funny how Proud Boys is now becoming like a catch-all term for any white supremacists. Amber occasionally has like Proud Boys like walking around with her, but it's not. It wasn't really like a Proud Boy gathering sort of thing, but. Yeah, Sammy went to Aaron later and was like, I guess I have to go now, huh? And he goes, yep, you do. He's like, alright, I'm fucking going. And so, he did, and then what happened later, it wasn't his fault, because there was a march before that. I got there late, I was hungover from the night before, and, we got there, I got there like, I think it was like around 12:30 or so. And then Sammy was with the homie and he was like, oh, we're going to get coffee around the corner real quick. And so they did. And literally 3 minutes later, it was the fascists showed up. And then hundreds of cops within like 2 or 3 minutes. Cops just fucking everywhere. And if Sammy and the guy who was with were even like 2 blocks away, they wouldn't have heard it. And also it was Sunday morning in Berkeley, so by the time they were even able to get their coffee, we were probably gone. And around that corner on Telegraph, and then all the way to campus, which is where we ended up going after that, in front of Sproul Hall. And even there wasn't anything that really broke out that I know of. We left after that. There was like sort of a standoff at Sproul Hall for a little while, and Amber and the 2 people they were with got escorted off like into the elevator, and then they just left, and then none of us did for a little while. And just real quick as to why we yell at cops or whatever, they gotta be faced head on with this stuff, because they do have a special job that's different from that of any worker. They are employed by the state to uphold the oppressive powers of the state. And since it was a state that was built on racism and slavery, what does that mean? So what I'm getting at is if cops aren't going to be on the side of social movements like this, then they need to fucking hear it from us. Because that's their jobs. And we, like I said, we already don't have a statistic for how many people have been killed by police officers while in custody. And another bit of breaking news, while the Verruchers were playing, Rat from the Verruchers said something like, "You have Trump, we have Boris!" And 2 days later, what happened? The Tories lost the majority in Parliament, and there's probably going to be a Commons vote very soon, and Boris Johnson will be out. And also, this comes on the same day that Salvini is out. That's 2 fascists. We got millions more to go. Keep it going, comrades. Anyway, here's a song for y'all. This is Poison Idea. Apparently, this was their last tour ever. So this was from the last set that Poison Idea ever played in the Bay Area. And they've gone through a lot of different lineup changes as well. But they're still playing the old songs. They played songs from every record. Anyway, here's Poison Idea with Punish Me.
San Francisco, because we said it last week in Pittsburgh. Oakland. We said it the week before in Europe somewhere. Good fucking bye. Thanks a lot, everybody. We played a little bit of everything from all the songs we did. We've been playing. We played here in San Francisco or Oakland. We played Barrington Hall, all these old fucking places, the Farm, on Broadway and shit for years and years. I mean, we're not that old. We haven't played like the, you know, the old, the Def Club or shit like that. But anyway, we're gonna play shit from all this stuff from a long time ago. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Dim sum of punk rock songs, and we hope you're all happy tonight. And thanks a lot. Thank you very much for coming out. All right, thank you.
There's no life for
And then at the end of that video, Jerry goes, "Hey, Annihilation Time! You're welcome!" No, I'm joking. But he did say my all-time favorite rock and roll cliche, which is calling the crowd San Francisco when you're playing in Oakland. And, I mean, obviously he clarified. He was talking about places in the Bay Area where they played. I'm assuming up in Portland, people just refer to the Bay Area as San Francisco. I don't know. But then it was also like it brought to mind, you know, if you've ever seen Gimme Shelter, when Mick Jagger says something like, "Oh, thank you, San Francisco." Speaking of which, that man's band, I will not mention the name because of copywriting, but there are Rocks That Roll involved. And then you're like, whoa, mind blown. Their name is literally Rock and Roll. Whoa. Anyway, Mick and Kaif's band apparently had a pretty interesting interaction with the Cheeto in a story that might be older at this point, but I just thought it was funny. I read it earlier today that their manager Michael Cole at the time was like was trying to find a date for them to play between New York and Philadelphia, and the only place that they found that was suitable, given how big they were during the Steel Wheels tour, gave away who it was, damn it. Anyway, during that tour, the only venue that was big enough was the Palace Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. And who owned that at the time? Yep, the Cheeto. The jerk-off-in-chief himself. Anyway, they were like, alright, we'll play it, but we want nothing to do with the Cheeto at all. Fuck you. And then he was like, no, don't worry, I will take care of him. I will make sure that the Cheeto is away from you. Somehow, what did you think was going to happen? The Cheeto made it into the venue. Michael Cole, their manager, sat him aside and was like, what did I tell you? You're making yourself look really bad. You're breaking the contract. You gotta leave. And he goes, but they begged me, Michael. They begged me to show up. They begged me. And I was like, no, they didn't. They begged you to stay away from the venue. And so, of course, the band found out. And then Kaif apparently pulls out his Navy SEAL combat knife and jams it on the table and goes, we fucking told you he was not supposed to be here. I'm not going to try to do a Keith Richards impersonation. Alright, fine. We fucking told you we did not want him to be here! Either he leaves or we leave! And so he's like, alright, fine, I'll take care of him. I'll take care of him. And then I apparently, Kaif pulled out his knife and was like, pretty much like, where is he? While holding the knife. Good praxis, Kaif! Anyway. Nah, no. No. Anyway, yeah, check out my Periscope and my Twitter for bonus footage from the weekend. And yeah, I'm just glad they keep doing stuff like this, like Crash Fest and Manic Relapse. Check them out. They're about, I think one's at the beginning of summer, the other's at the end. And yeah, always really great bands end up playing. Anyway, the show last week that I saw was the Tankrimes Takeover with Necrot Kicker Clitorati featuring a comrade from Punks with Lunch. And Deathgrave. Yeah, Deathgrave, but can't decide if that name's really dumb or it's really awesome. Anyway, I think maybe that's the point. I don't know. Anyway, I'm about to play the first song from Necrot's set, and you'll also get to see a pretty funny interaction between Scotty and Luca from Necrot. Luca! Ah, di sicuro è italiano! Che figura di merda questo show! Il tecnico del suono è anche il chitarrista, Anyway, here's Necrot with The Blade.
It's good to be back with you, guys. Thanks, Scotty. It's good. I was about to say thanks, Scotty. You heard that?
I'm the MC. Hey, I'm gonna give Luca this microphone in a moment. Thank you again. Please, come on, let's make some noise for fucking Takeover. It's so cool, man. Wow, this fucking place is packed, and then fools in the backyard are packed back there too, man. They're gonna start crowding out this little area. But hey, check it out, man. One thing I want to say, it's like 3 Tankrimes Takeovers ago when we sold out Gilman or Metro or something. Fucking Luca looks at me and he goes, "We will headline next one." I fucking love Necrot and I love Luca for that attitude and I love these guys and I'm really fucking stoked you guys all came out. Thank you so much. This is what you fucking came for. Here's fucking Oakland metal. Thank you.
Alright, say it all. Are you guys fucking ready? Alright, let's go.
yeah, that's Necrot. Greatest metal band in Oakland. Probably the greatest metal band, probably the greatest death metal band from the Bay Area ever, unless you count Possess as a death metal band. But that one's like, I guess it's like kind of like calling the Ramones punk, where it's like, yeah, they were, but when they were in their prime, when they blew up, punk didn't exist yet, just like Possess. Like death metal didn't exist yet back then. But yeah, anyway, yeah, our own Bobby O, I remember when I introduced him to Necrot, he said something like how there aren't any like actual death metal bands that are any good anymore, and I was like, really? You haven't heard Necrot? He's like, no. So I sent him their album, Blood Offerings, and I swear to God, Bobby O was sold after like 10 fucking seconds of it. Like, he replies with like heart eye emojis and shit. And then he's like, where did you find this? I was like, they're from my hometown. The drummer used to work at my work. And yeah, pretty good, eh? And their drummer Chad is actually really making a name for himself. He was there's already other metal drummers on YouTube drooling over him. And I even told him after the show, dude, there's already metal drummers nerding out over you. Just look up Necrot Chad drum cam on YouTube. And he seemed like he was completely unaware of that. And there's even a lot while he's playing with his other band, Mortuous. Another thing about Chad is that he plays blast beats without any triggers whatsoever. And like even on that crappy phone recording that you just saw, you can hear every note that he fucking plays. Alright, anyway, before I get to the next part of the show that I was going to tell you about, I'm going to do another quick news break. Torino beat Atalanta in Bergamo 3-2. Well, you got, I guess you say home first, so 2-3. St. Pauli won their derby against Holstein Kiel 2-1. I could not find any footage of that game, by the way, so if you know where I can find it, please send it to us. And then the two Basque clubs just keep cruising along. Athletic Bilbao, they actually started out the season beating Barcelona at Nou Camp, and then just now at San Mamés, they beat Real Sociedad. And well, that was at home, of course. Real Sociedad plays at a different stadium. They play at Anoeta. And Osasuna, who just got promoted, they won the Segunda Liga, and they beat Leganés in Leganés, which is in the Madrid outskirts. Then most recently they tied Barcelona 2-2. And alright, that concludes your news flash. And the only reason it was there is because it wouldn't have been no Tankrimes Takeover without no kicker, and it wouldn't have been no kicker without no football. So, yeah, damn Americans don't understand real language. Anyway, here's Kicker with Lager and Chips!
That's a fucking lager and chips.
hell yeah, Rhodey. Who doesn't like lager and chips? Or oh, I'm sorry for the Americans listening out there. Who translation would be who doesn't like beer and French fries? Anyway, yeah. That's it. That's it for the Radd Report this week. I want to thank all my comrades at Punks for Progress and the Revolution Club. I want to thank Berkeley Antifa for also showing up and standing guard, keeping the fascists from running around in Berkeley. Yeah, go buy books at Revolution Books. They have a lot of really good stuff there, and they have a good used book section too. And if you're an anarchist, read more about Marxism, Leninism, and vice versa. I mean, I think anarchists might respect Lenin if they read him a little more. I'm the Walrus. I'm the Walrus. Anyway, that's it. Tune in next time. We got a What the Fuck report coming up soon. Once again, check me out on Twitter and on Periscope at Radd Kahn. And I'll see y'all later.